Multiply by -2. Awesome. And then that canceled out the r's right there.
Yes.
That's great. Added them together, and then you divided, and you got b equals 4 point. Is that a realistic answer? Yeah. It's a realist. Do reality checks every now and then. If you get like $89, probably something wrong. Because B, the other thing you could do at the top here, label your variables to begin with. I very rarely see people use too many words. I don't think I've ever seen someone use too many words to describe their variable. Say, what does it mean? B is, just so you know, B is the, what is it? Is B, yeah, what does B represent in your equation? The cost of the Big Montana, right? The cost of it. And then what was the other one? R is the cost of the, what was it? The roast beef. Yeah. Roast beef. Good. Nice. Anybody agree with 4.39?
Yep.
Sound good? And what did you guys, anybody want to volunteer their answer for R? Who got R? R. What did you get, Dev? 1.99? No. Did anybody else get 199? Oh, we're going to try again. Anybody else have a different answer for R? What did you get, Kelly? 2.09. Who got 209? Who got agreement in the back? Got 1. That's good. Independent. What should you do? So we think maybe it's 2.9. What should you do with B if you wanted to find R? To where? To where? It doesn't matter which one. If it's the correct answer, it shouldn't matter which one. If you plugged it into both and got different answers, what does that say about your... It's wrong, exactly. So which one do you want to plug it into, the first or the second?
I plugged it into the second.
You plugged it into the second. Let's just bounce over and, well, let's just plug it into the second and see what happens. 30R plus 5 times 4.39 equals 84.65. And now if I gave you something like this, with numbers like this, what could you reasonably, not always, but reasonably expect to have? Yeah, I mean, you're going to have R is equal to 84.65 minus 5 times 4.39 all over 30. Someone do that for me with the calculator right now just to verify. For 7, yeah, you have to use a little bit of geometry. Let me pull it in here. So for 7, what's one thing you have to remember from geometry or know about geometry to do number 7? Each angle doesn't equal 180, but the what of the angle? The sum of the internal angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So if we have x, so we have x degrees, y degrees, and how many degrees is that? 90. Correct, exactly, Nate. And then how many degrees are in a straight line?
180.
It is 180, thank you. And then in a straight, but that's really not helpful. 180. And then what's the second equation going to be? Y plus... Exactly. Now, how many equations do you see? 2. How many variables? So theoretically, you should feel happy and content because you have lots of tools to attack these and crush these. So what does x equal? Anybody have an answer for x?
40.
And what about y, Kelly? What did you get?
50.
Who got 50? Yeah. That's right. Good job. So yesterday, I asked you to finish this one right here, right? Excellent. Okay, so anybody get the h value? What'd you get?
12.
Anybody else get 12? Anybody else get 12? You get 12? It's kind of a nice answer, and if other people agree, I tend to believe it. I think it is 12. So can you find out? So if h is 12, you know that 12 is equal to 3 times s. So what's s going to be? 4. And then you know that also that f is equal to h minus 5. So f is going to be 12 minus 5 is 7. Excellent, good job. Again, what would you probably have if I gave you numbers like that? Calculator. Tell me what the first thing you should do that none of you actually did.
Write the
Okay,
variables.
last
Label the variables.
Label them. So what does A equal?
Number
Number model A desks. So desks, right? Yeah. Actually label them. So if you labeled them, it would be helpful to you and to me in communicating what you're trying to explain. But many of you went straight to A plus B plus C is 85. I think that's correct. And then what else was up there? What does A equal?
2C plus
4. Yeah, 2C plus 4. And there was another one up there.
B is 5 plus C.
5 plus C. Exactly. Nice. And then many of you went to C first, which is great. and ended up with C is 19, and it follows through. Let's see, do we get agreement? 19 is C. Oh, I like this. You put them in order. That's a great way to do it. Absolutely. And so that means you got A is equal to 42, and B is equal to 24. One way you can check that is by seeing the sum is to 85, but the other way to check it, the complete way to check it would be to check all three equations, which I didn't ask you to do at the moment, but do you believe? And I believe that that seems pretty good. Pretty good? Okay, get back to your board, erase what you have. We have round 2. B for B.
No.
No?
No.
No?
No.
Do we have another? Anybody want to challenge that? Someone thinks it's going to be. Who thinks it's 140?
140.
Oh man! Oh. That's the thing. You have to be careful about how you. But theoretically, it should be A, B, and C, right? A should be A, B should be B, and C. Oh man. 280, 140, 380. How about this? I'll play this game instead. 280, 140, and 380. Who got those three numbers for their final answer?
Yes.
Let's try it that way. Who got those three numbers for their final answer? There we go. Okay. So just be careful with your labels. Just be careful with your labels because it is possible to answer these correctly and just label them slightly different. Just be very, very careful. I like this idea. You could just take this and call that A. You could call this B, and the amount, and this C, and these are A, B, and C are ounces of each of those things. I liked how most of you figured out it has to be A plus B plus C needs to be what? You know that's true. What's the last thing? It says if the amount of water used must equal the total amount of the other two. So you know that C is going to be equal to what? Yep, exactly. So these two are pretty straightforward. Decently straightforward. The third equation is where it's a little tough. You're making something that is 8.5% acidic. So 8.5% of the final amount has to be acid. Does that make sense? So this right here, 0.085 times 10, what does that represent? This is the acid in final solution. Why isn't it 0.85? Yeah, 0.85 would be what percent? Yeah, would you ever really want to be around 85% hydrochloric acid? Never, ever, ever be around 85% hydrochloric acid. Bad thing. That's horrible. You'll never see that, hopefully. Okay, but what goes into the final solution? Where's the acid coming from? It's coming from 50% solution, and it's coming from 50% in what? Oh, 5% and 20%. Oh. 0.05A plus 0.2B plus C. Oh, wait, how much acid is coming in from the water? None. Like, what's the concentration of acid in the water? So you can do 0.0 C. There's nothing, right? So what happens to this term? It's 0. So what's that equation? 0.05A plus 0.2, right? 2? Yeah. 2B equals 8.5 times 10, because this represents acid from solution A. What does this represent? Acid from solution B, and this is total acid. So how many equations do we now have? 3, because we have these original 2 right here. We have these original 2 right here, and then we have the third one. By yourself, find A, B, and C. Go. Okay, so we have a bid right here. We have a bid from the west. C equals 5. Anybody agree with C equals 5? You got what? You got C equals 5? Okay, we can... C equals 8? Okay, so we need to do this out a little bit, maybe? Okay, so what do you want to do? How do you want to attack this? Any suggestions?
I substituted.
We'll call this equation 1, and then this equation 2, and equation 3. What did you do? Which one did you work on? What did you do? You isolated A in the second equation?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so if you isolate A in the second equation, You get A is equal to 10 minus B minus C. Then what'd you do?
And then
What'd you do with that?
probably didn't do it right. But
It's fine. What'd you do?
substituted C. I substituted the C equals A plus B.
Oh, okay.
C.
Like there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got A is equal to 10 minus B minus what?
And then the B's cancel out.
Oh, that's cool. So A is equal to 10 minus B minus A. It doesn't cancel. It's minus
Oh, wait,
B.
never mind, then I did.
It doesn't cancel. So that
I thought it did.
algebraically you can do that, but it doesn't really get you anywhere. Okay, so let's try again here. So we have this. That was a good idea, but it isn't super helpful. What'd you do, Hannah?
I substituted, like, I took C, and I just did A plus B.
Oh, look, what do you have right
A
here?
plus B.
What is A plus B equal to?
A plus B equals C, so it ends up being 2C.
So 2C is equal to 10, so yes, C is equal to? That's a great observation. So once you have C equals 5, you can plug that in, and you end up with, well, where do you want to plug that in?
Well, I got stuck. I ended up just saying 5 equals A.